my dice. I will be right
No
back.
problem.
Or can we roll the
you-
dice to see whose pocket he pops out of?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everyone just roll, and whoever gets the highest roll, he's out of your
On a
pocket.
D20?
Yeah.
I got a 4, so I'm out.
It's a
I got
3,
15.
baby, so you're not out yet.
Oh, do we need to roll?
Yeah, D20.
But he can't be in Lord Aemon's pocket.
That's true.
True.
I don't have pockets. I
No,
don't
he's
have
also
pockets.
you're all the
Muted.
same size as him.
True.
Oh, yeah.
He could be
what
under
am I
my
rolling?
thimble helmet,
Wait,
though.
sorry, hon, you're really low. I'm going to turn you up, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn. Oh, I've got to turn everyone else down. Okay. There we go.
Classic relationship bias.
Oh, I've got her on the max.
Good one.
I actually have Lisa on the max as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn up my volume. Okay.
Hello.
Can you say something, Boo?
Bye.
Why are
Okay.
we rolling?
There we. To see if whose pocket Geralt is in.
Do I have to roll something?
Wait, wasn't he
No,
in
you can't
Denmark?
be in your own pocket.
So, all right. Well, so he was in Nibble's hood. I did say he was in Nibble's hood. But we'll roll between Splurch and Nibble because I didn't know it anyway. So Nibble, will you roll, and then Splurch, will you roll?
I mean, it would make sense that I would be in Nibble's hood. That's where he hides the.
Yeah. I thought so. Sorry, Splurch. She's in Nibble's hood. There we go.
Confusing.
Will you?
I would secretly sleep on Splurch's hat sometimes because I nibble on it and it makes me freak out. And
Perfect. Well, it makes sense because Splurch doesn't have much clothing going on, so we'll say that it was in Nibble's hood. Will you roll me a Wisdom saving throw, Geralt?
absolutely will.
Oh yeah.
That's a natural one.
Beautiful. So
Oh.
you emerge from your little
It's a bad
stunned
trip.
slumber, and immediately just you feel this really awful feeling of dread. You immediately start to doubt yourself.
No!
You
Come
feel
on!
you just you're on
No,
this
come on,
super low.
mate.
I was not in that mood currently. Come on. No, let me roll again.
No.
Come on. I'm going. I'm not. I'm out. No.
Okay.
You sound like you're on hour 6 of like sitting at the game board at a casino or something.
Come on.
One more roll, guys.
Come
One more
on.
roll.
on.
But essentially, -2 to all of your rolls, because you are filled with doubt and sorrow. It's the room itself, this place itself. Just
I
you
think
get
it's
these
everyone
really
apart
nasty
from
vibes
Splint
from
at
this
this
place.
It just sounds like real life, though.
Yeah. Yeah,
Welcome to reality, everybody.
I mean,
-2 to every role in real life.
I
You
feel
want
great.
I was feeling like in real life. I was feeling like that. That's
Uh-huh.
why I'm high now. I don't want to go back.
I see.
I'm serious. I'm being serious. No.
That's fair. You don't have to roleplay it at all. You just have the -2 to your roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck you.
No problem. So we just ended there with Splint. You were moving your way over to Reggie.
Oh, yeah.
And you
Alright.
you ushered Splurch to come over as well. So we'll move on to Reggie. So Reggie, you lift your foot for a moment. Your foot is kind of stuck to the ground. As you pull it up, it's kind of. Ooh, thank you.
Did you get tea?
I got chocolate cake.
Chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Lucky boy.
So Reggie, you pull your foot up.
I gotta go for dinner.
Oh, balls. Okay.
Oh
my
gosh.
I'm gonna cast Firebolt if anything comes that isn't a friend. Bye!
Okay, bye. So Reggie, you lift your foot, and it's kind of stuck to the ground. It's almost like there's dried paint below it, and your foot is kind of solidified to the ground. And you lift it up, and the bottom of your foot is all red. It's covered in red. sticky mass.
Is it blood? Have I?
Yeah, it's blood. Give me a yeah. Well, it's blood. Yeah. You know it's blood. You've seen enough blood at
Yeah,
this
I mean,
stage to know
it's
this
not
is
paint. Like,
blood. No, it's not paint.
Okay, go on. What am I rolling for?
Nothing. It's your turn. What do
Oh,
you do?
I thought you said rope.
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah, I feel like he's just gonna run away from the door a little bit, traumatized,
Okay.
and just start like maybe rocking over back or something.
Hmm.
Just touched by the scary thing.
Okay, you got touched by this thing. It disappeared, and as you move away, it reappears, and you see it again, reaching its hand out towards you.
Get the fuck.
It's like yellowy, beady eyes staring up at you, and it got a 22 on its attack roll.
Yeah, fair. That's fair enough. I feel like yeah.
And so this hand jams itself into your chest and starts to tug, and you take 11 psychic
Okay.
damage.
Psychic. Honestly.
Hmm.
Okay.
And will you roll me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Of course. Yeah. So that is a 15.
15. Oh, that's just enough. Okay, cool. So this thing pulls at your chest, and you feel like this hand goes into your chest. It just kind of phases through your chest and grabs something, and you get this twisted feeling in your chest. This real tight, twisted feeling, like your heart is being squeezed, and then it gets pulled out of your body, and you feel for a second incredibly lightheaded. It's a sensation of being lightheaded, and your body, you feel your heavy body falling back, but then you feel yourself being pulled forwards as this thing drags you towards itself. And you look back for a moment, and you see your body behind you, and the hand, like your essence, whatever is pulled out of the body, just snaps back into your body, and you stumble back, and you continue moving back. And just a little trickle of blood comes down your nose and down your ears.
This wasn't on the notice board.
And this thing just kind of turns its head and tilts it, looking at you, and just licks its rows of yellowed teeth and whips its tail side to side. Where are you going, Reggie?
Just running away from the door, so probably just dart to the other side of the room.
Okay. So what's your speed again?
So sorry. So if I fly, I can do it in 35, but
Okay.
if the normal running is 20, so.
Okay.
But
So
I just feel like he's lagging it, so I don't.
3,
Yeah.
4. Do you want to go out the door?
No, I think he's just running to the away from.
Oh, well,
you know,
that's as
the
far
door.
as you would get anyway. Okay,
Yeah,
so you
sweet.
run. Do you want to use your action as well to run away?
No, I'll just scream a bit and tell everybody that he's there's no words actually to describe what's after happening. Like I don't know if the other guys can see that happened.
You saw the hand reach to what you saw this really long hand reach into Reggie's chest and pull, and you guys saw for a moment Reggie's body stumble back, and you saw this spectral image. And it was like you've seen the ghosts around here, and it was just the outline of Reggie, and this kind of blue mist being dragged out of Reggie in the shape of Reggie. It was Reggie's soul being dragged out of their body, and he stumbled back. It snapped back into his body, and he ran up towards you guys. And the hand just slipped again behind the door.
Oh, Reggie, don't tell me. There's no soup at all, is there?
Oh my god. I completely forgot about the soup.
You forgot
No,
about the
fucking
soup.
No, there's a scary spider that touched me in my hair.
That's scary. It touched you. I would have some words
Reggie
with this
fell in
scary
love.
spider.
No, in the worst way possible. Like non-consensual heart touching.
Oh.
Can Splurch approach the room where?
Yep, it's
where
Splurch's turn.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So you go right down to the room.
Yeah.
Okay. You peer inside. Give me
Can
a
I just
perception
push,
check.
I'll push the door like fully open.
Mhm.
And
You
say,
slam the door open.
Well, hello there, mister. I rolled
You open the door, and the whole room, all the floor is covered in blood. And it just continues to spill into the other room that you're currently standing in from an unknown source. This water in the center of this room just keeps flowing out of the door. And everything's back to normal again. The blood stops, and there's nothing inside of the room.
Reggie, there is nobody
Roll me a
in here.
Perception check, please.
Oh, I did. I got 4.
Oh, 4. Yeah, you don't see anything in the room.
Reggie, there's nobody in here.
There is.
Can
I don't give a
go
shit
in
anymore.
and look around the room?
Okay. Sorry, 2 seconds. Okay. So you head inside, and you move inside, and you see inside this room, there's a bunch of cobwebbed crockery. There is a smell of soup coming from one of the barrels, and there's cans of food inside here. There's a can of tuna in here, and there's a slice of moldy bread. And that's about all you see in the room.
Okay, can I take the barrel that smells of soup out with me?
Yeah, of course. So you go grab the barrel, and you lift the barrel up, and you start dragging it out with you.
Yeah, I'll bring it
Okay.
back out to the kitchen.
Okay. So, well, your action will be lifting up the barrel. So we'll
Okay.
get back to you on that. Okay. So, okay. So we're gonna go to Eamon. What is Eamon doing right now? Lord Eamon.
I've just been looking at my handwritten character sheet, and I
Yeah.
see that I can detect the supernatural.
You do? Is that because you're a paladin?
I think so. I just have it written down. I always do this. I always write down like the shorthand of what my character can do, but then I can't exactly remember why. Let's see, fighting style.
No, that makes sense. You can probably sense.
As an
which
action,
one
I
is
can detect the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead. Oh, and I wrote down
Beautiful,
super. God, I'm a dope. Why would
That's
I
all
write
right.
down a shorthand for
No,
keywords?
That's perfect.
Um,
No, that's perfect. So you can use your action to find where
But
one
it's
is.
my
if you want.
action. Yeah.
What would Lord Eamon do?
Well, I know something's up. Like
Mm-hmm.
I do know something is up, and all right, you see, there's a fork on the table beside me.
Mhm.
I'd like to slam my foot into the prongs and kind of
Yep.
like so it flips up in the air like a rake,
Yes.
and catch
Okay.
it in my second hand,
Yes.
and then use my action to detect. I think it was undead, fiends,
Yeah.
or
Absolutely.
celestial
So you
within 60
sense
feet.
from
And I would
that
like to
room.
shout a challenge as well.
What do you shout?
Reveal yourself, dirty hound of the underworld. It is I, Lord Aemon. Bluecorn the Fifth, rightful heir of Brambletop, and I shall slay thee.
You hear this kind of clicking sound. Oh, is that David?
Yes, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back.
Hello.
So Spurch has just gone in.
Oh.
Can't see anything in the room. You did
He's
see
got
for a
no eyes.
moment Reggie's a hand reached out and put itself inside Reggie's chest, and then pulled out what looked like Reggie's soul from its body, and the soul snapped back into Reggie, and Reggie's ran away just terrified. Spurch has gone in, can't see anything in the room, and Lord Aemon Bluecorn is now challenging this beast to show itself.
Also, I fucked your mother.
Oh,
To the beast, to the thing.
You see this head peer. Oh, isn't that working? Oh, that's Geralt. So you see this head peer out from the top of this room, from just above the door frame. You don't see the splurge, but this little head peers around and just smiles
Is
this
it a
really
little head?
toothy grin. You don't see it either, right now, Splint, but you do, Eamon. You see this head smiling at you and grinning at you, and you know this thing is in the ceiling hiding. And then it tucks back. It like peers like from the top of the door frame, looks down at you, and smiles, and then slowly goes back up.
Bastard.
Interesting.
So you know it's there, and you
Yeah,
know it
that was
is
my
a.
action.
Well, you know that it is. Actually, no. Give me a religion check.
Oh, well, I am a paladin, although I don't have proficiency in religion.
Okay.
16 plus wisdom, is it?
No, plus intelligence.
Yes, so 18.
So you know that this is a troubled spirit. It is a ghost of a fox. It once was a
I
fox.
regret saying that I fucked his mother.
So this creature was once a fox and was a resident of this place. And there's something really dark and twisted and evil and vengeful about this spirit. And there's something.
I mean, you can go around touching children, though.
That's the excuse I use in court.
There's something really dark and twisted about this thing.
I want to go on record and say I've never had to use that excuse in court.
And so,
Definitely the kind of joke
Splurge.
you want to redact afterwards.
Yeah. We're not recording these, are we?
Yeah, we are. It's going on live on YouTube.
we are.
Podcast in the stream.
I'm on.
So Splurch. What is your armor? So, like, does
Oh, sorry,
a
you're me, yeah.
17 hit you?
Oh, I think it does. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So,
I'll be back in a sec.
okay. You hear this dripping from just above your head, and this creature looks down at you, and it brings its hand down and caresses just under your chin,
Oh.
and then darts its hand into your neck and rips from your
Aw.
body, like starts tearing at your body, and you feel your body fall back, and you feel the in its hands. You see your body behind you, and you feel your body being ripped from you. You take 19 points of psychic damage.
Are you insane, Gabriel?
Getting really good rolls.
He's sick of DMing this game. He wants it to be over.
Only meant to be a one shot.
Oh, that's it. That's the irony. He's going to one-shot all of us.
You got it. You finally got it. No.
I mean, it is supposed to
Got
be
very,
an
very
horror.
It is.
That is true.
And you guys, you've been messing around with little minor ghosts, but this is a very bad ghost. So you take 19 points of psychic damage. You feel your body, you're so ripped out of your body, and then everything just goes white. And all you feel is this throbbing. You don't feel the rest of your body. You just feel this throbbing where your neck was. You just feel this throbbing. You just feel like a pulse.
Where my neck was.
Yeah, but just more like you just feel like a pulse. You don't feel anything else except just this beating.
Okay, but my
Everything
neck
else is
still
numb
there.
except this singular beating. I assume you're unconscious.
No, I'm okay.
You're okay?
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Oh, okay.
Amazing.
Well, then you're fine. Can you roll me a Constitution save?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm not in a great shape. but-
Sorry. No. Okay. No. Fine then. So the soul snaps back into
She's
your
a
body.
barbarian.
I'm a
Oh,
mushroom.
And a mushroom.
That's a 16.
16. Okay, you're fine actually then.
The one
Okay.
thing I'm good at.
So your soul, you feel this pulsing, and then whiplash back into your body, and you like stumble back for a second, and you see this thing crawling over you, and it tilts its head, kind of clicking, and a little confused.
What the fuck?
Can it's Geralt's turn. So what does Geralt do?
Sorry, let me think. 1 second.
That's Geralt
Um,
game.
Where am I?
Geralt is
I'm
just
in Nibble.
eating
Did I
in
see?
Nibble's pocket.
Did I see any of this? Did I hear any of it?
You kind of this thud. You see Reggie
Yeah, you
very
probably heard him
terrified.
screaming.
Yeah, Reggie's screaming a lot.
Okay, if Reggie is screaming a lot, I will make my way out down from Nibbles and go towards Reggie and climb onto his head and lay on it and like just wrap my tail around him, just like that's a fluffy pillow, and I will caress him and like, Reggie, it's okay, my boy. It's okay.
I'm a little disconcerted because it's a big fleshy tail.
Reggie, do not
I
worry.
don't imagine it's as comforting as Geralt.
Like, I love that the fire thing is right beside him as well. I feel like he's just being traumatized.
the fire of the flickering function flickers like shadows on Geralt's face, and like his face looks twisted and distorted.
My boy, everything will be okay.
His tail just keeps whipping you back and forth along your face as he's kind of getting comfortable. His little claws kind of dig into your head a little bit. He's trying his best, but like, yeah, he settles down, and you just hear this crackling of flame beside you.
I feel like if this is what a brave boy is supposed to be, I don't think he wants to be a brave boy anymore.
Oh no!
Would he say that out loud?
He'd say it like under his breath. I think it's getting too far. He just wants to answer the notice board.
I'm like, Reggie, you do not have to be a brave boy. You just have to be Reggie.
Who am I?
Oh, who are you of us, man?
Okay.
Is that Geralt's turn?
Yes.
Okay. Nibble, what are you doing?
Oh god, I just heard echo.
Me too.
Me too.
I was meaning to ask.
Yes.
What is psychological damage?
So psychic damage, it's just you're kind of so it's mental damage that you take. So in the game as well, some people have like resistances to certain types of damage. Like there's fire damage. It's just to describe what type of damage you're taking. So psychic would be just mental and spiritual kind
It's
of
kind of
damage.
like Pokemon,
But,
right?
like,
Where like some people have
It's still your HP.
like they're better at withstanding.
Yeah, it's still your HP that's taken down. Like more.
Also, like it's nothing really different, just a type of. So I can.
Yeah, you can absolutely. Like Reggie's just really pale right now, and blood is trickling out of Reggie's nose constantly. There's a constant stream of blood trickling out of Reggie's nose, and Reggie's eyes are all bloodshot as well.
But like, is he gonna die of it?
Damn it, I didn't know that.
Probably pretty soon.
Give me a medicine check.
But did you die?
It's a natural 20.
Did you die though?
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're seeing where around Reggie's eyes are also like a dull purple color, and you're seeing with the all these different signs of well, you've seen before. You've seen spirits take control of people's bodies. So you they're shriveled and wilted.
No, wait, guys. I don't understand. Okay.
So you see Reggie is experiencing the symptoms that someone would experience when a ghost would try to possess someone. In the church, you've often done exorcisms, and people who are under influence of a ghost or have been damaged by a ghost usually have these signs like a bleeding nose or bleeding eyes, bloodshot eyes. This purple rim around the eyes is a big.
So if I exercise him, is the same as I heal him?
No, not this time. You don't think Reggie, because of the way Reggie is acting, Reggie's fine, but has definitely taken a lot of mental damage to their soul and their mind, and healing will help them for sure. But it's more you might have to tweak your magic somewhat to heal whatever Reggie's got under. It's more like intense traumas that Reggie's
I see.
experienced.
Okay. So if I lick him, it's not gonna get better.
No, you will. Yeah. You just have to use a different type of. You just alter your magic, so it's more of
You need to get to the
focusing
brain.
on the mental.
Goes through
Yeah,
the ear, goes through
exactly.
the ear.
Oh,
canal,
God.
get
Cut
right
straight to
in
the
there.
There's no
So
real
what's
wounds, but
happening?
you can. Yeah,
We're
absolutely.
talking
you can use your-
physically, right?
Yes.
Okay,
So you have to stick your tongue in the ear.
I see. Okay, no.
No, you're fine. You
I'm
can.
gonna go near. So I'm gonna back up. I'm still
Mhm.
gonna look at the stairs.
Okay.
I'm backing up.
Oh, backing up the stairs.
No, towards Reggie.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
looking over the stairs.
Okay.
Mhm. And I'm gonna use. Who's most damaged here? But I don't know about Splurge.
You don't know anything about Splurge currently.
Yeah, so for poor Reggie, I don't want him to feel like this. So I'm gonna use I'm gonna give him a
Thanks, babe.
fizzy candies. I'm gonna give him a fizzy candy. And
So Nibble
Sweet
kind of
tooth.
gives you. How do you give the fizzy candy to?
so okay, fine. Okay, I'll divert my attention from the door towards Reggie.
Okay.
I'm gonna open up his beak. I'm gonna put a fizzy candy in, and I'm
Okay.
gonna close it.
Okay.
And rub his throat so he
Okay,
swallows
so
it.
you see Nibble rummage around in a little black bag and pull out what looks like a tiny little black cannonball. Like a little bomb, the kind of typical cartoon bombs.
Yeah.
He slips
That's
one of them into
nice.
your mouth, and all of a sudden you
Why are
feel
you
this
fucking-
fizzing and crackling, and then all of a sudden the thing breaks and kind of pops in your mouth and explodes and starts fizzling and sizzling all around your mouth and crackling and popping. It's popping
It's
candy.
not appropriate right now.
While this is going on, and then what
It's
you
like
do?
single tear. Like he's all just gone to shit.
The bomb in your
I
mouth.
do,
Like,
hiss or purr,
Hiss or purr?
and it's
Oh, you're
like
using your
the-
purr, is it? Oh, okay. So
no,
you're
the hiss or purr.
okay. So you're healing like 10 points. is
Yes.
it?
Oh shit!
I
Oh,
see.
that's
So
cool.
you gain 10 HP.
Cats are OP.
Yes.
So she kind of
Put
looks
back
at you,
up,
puts
baby.
this little candy in your mouth, and starts sizzling and popping. And with this sizzling and popping, he begins to purr, and this soothing purr just kind of relaxes you and soothes your mind. And your brain at this stage is just throbbing; it's pulsing like this, like drum beat, just and eventually starts to dull down and starts to match up with the purring. And you kind of give your nose a little sniff, and the blood stops dripping
Oh,
and kind of
I've
dries up.
never been so confused, but I'm very grateful.
And then I'm gonna give him a pat on the head.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like an avocado.
And so,
So I have 19 fizzy candies right
okay. And then descending the stairs,
Oh, of course. Beautiful.
this little creature
Oh, yeah, that thing.
starts to move down the stairs. It's this one eye looking at you, filled with pus. It's got like a few little teeth in its mouth. It's hole in the center of its face, and just slime mucus is
Wait,
barfing
I
out
had
this
a fireball ready. Is that still on?
because it's come back to your turn, it's gone. It's kind of fizzled away, and you've instead gone to heal Reggie.
Fuck.
So we go to Splint. Splint, what are you doing?
I'm gonna go shoo Reggie out of the door and up to the stairs. Tell him to get out of here. He's freaking out, little coward. And
Dude,
So
freaking out. You don't belong here. Get up there, mate. Is what I was going to do.
Stupid, huh?
So I'm going to walk over to him as if I'm about to start that, and as I'm doing that, that's when he gets healed and it's like, alright, fine. Oh, look! There's a Whizzle Squatch coming down the stairs. What's that? Look at that there, Whizzle Squatch. And then I'm gonna shoot the... Fucking cute that is. I'm going to shoot the Whizzle Squatch. Oh no, it's my child. And I'm going to shoot the Whizzle Squatch.
Yeah.
Give me
your attack roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whizzle Squatch for dinner. That's a 2 plus 5. That's a 7.
Meets it, beats it. There you go. You hit the little thing of me.
I do not.
You do. It's got 7 armor.
All right.
It's very easy to hit. It's very soft.
It's 6 fire damage.
6 fire damage?
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to do it?
Oh, I feel terrible. I'm going to say that I look at it and I start like gathering the fire in my hand, and as the fire like lights up the room a little bit, I see the sadness in its eye, but it's already too late.
It looks like
I
you
let
have
it go.
intense pain for it, and
I
it
look at it
immediately
like,
bubbles and boils, and you just hear this as its flesh melts away and turns to crisp, and
Christ.
the eyeball bubbles and boils, and it's gone. It's dead. You're just leaving a smear on the a sizzling smear on the staircase.
I look at Reggie, I pat him on the shoulder, and I say, "It's okay, Reggie. I'll look after you." And I use my bonus action. I use my bonus action to. You can't keep using that excuse. You're our leader. We can't have a baby for a leader. Grow up and grow it fast. And I tell the fire spirit to stay with Reggie and look after.
No!
Still not.
The fire spirit just looks up at you, and its eyes are hollow and just balls of fire. It just looks up at you, crackling and sizzling. Has no emotion on its face.
I have an innate
I wish you'd
fear of
communicate.
fire.
Yeah, I wish
can
you'd
you
say
roll me
that
a
to me because you
wisdom
still
saving?
haven't
I
said
have
that.
told you so many.
Can you roll me a wisdom saving throw, please?
But you've never actually said it to me. Out of character, you're all like, "Oh, Reggie doesn't like fire." Oh.
I hate fire.
Trying to heal this poor baby. Just
Reggie was assault the baby with fire.
You hear the crackling of the fire and the crackling of the popping candy in your mouth and the purring beside you, and your eye gives a little twitch without you being able to control it. Can you give me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Yeah, I got a 12.
At 12, you're fine for now. You're managing, but like you
I'm
can't
far
take much
from
more.
fine right now.
You really want it. You don't want to stay near this this fire. Anyway, you have to
No.
move on your turn. You've got to move away from the fire. You just can't
Yeah,
bear.
that's
Like if you stay near this fire any longer, you're just gonna snap.
But is it following me?
It will.
Please don't do that.
It's Reggie's turn. What does Reggie do?
I move away from the fire part.
So where do you want
And
to
it
go? Like
follows
north,
you.
south, east, or west?
North, but not in. Yeah, away from. Yeah,
Two.
dying. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
And can I just ready my bow?
Yeah. 3, 4. There you go. So where are you what are you readying your bow to? What's happening?
The spider pedophile man.
Okay, you see the spider pedophile man. So this thing, also the fire spirit, just kind of
Oh
plods
no.
on behind
Oh my
you.
god!
Can you roll
No.
me another wisdom saving throw?
Oh,
And
okay, I got a
Reggie-
17. It's fine. It's fine.
17,
it's
you're like
fine.
you just bite your lip
Like,
and you ready your
Liz, could
bow.
you make it stop?
You're just trembling, holding the bow. And Gerald is
Absolutely, I
kind of
can
like
make
on
it
your
stop.
head as well. One of his hands are over your eyes slightly. The fire is flickering up and looking at you.
I can make it stop next turn.
you have
In
to
the meantime,
survive
it
6
can
seconds.
also fly, so it will follow you into the sky. Just remember that.
Why? You're not even helpful.
That's really mean. I was only doing my best.
I understand, but we didn't communicate clearly. Now it's all fucked.
Well, that's a problem on both our sides, isn't it?
Oh my god, there's so much other stuff going on though.
We're back to you, Splurge.
Oh, I can still.
And you're
this
in
thing
the
is
room.
Still here.
Yeah, it's up in the ceiling, looking down at you, kind of receding into the shadows of the.
Wait, did we skip Lord Aemon? Or is he gone?
Oh, Eamon. No, he
think
found
I'm
out
after
where the
you.
thing was. Yeah, he used his action to
right,
locate.
okay, fine. For some reason I thought we forgot him. Okay, so
I just made a completely useless action.
That's right.
Usually that's my thing to do. Sorry, what's this thing doing then?
So this thing is kind of receding into the ceiling itself. It's kind of moving back up. It's put its hand into you and is now starting to back up into the ceiling a little bit. And kind of moving around you in a circular motion, kind of finding a better opportunity to get at you. And its head is clicking to the side and it's just smiling. And you just yeah.
Can I kind of slump down onto that sack there beside
Yeah,
me?
yeah, absolutely. You just slump down.
And
You've got this throbbing pain inside your head as well. All your body is kind of numb,
Splurch is just
and your
gonna
neck
relax.
is throbbing.
I don't feel too good. I better drink this potion that I have, and I'll drink the potion of inhanceability.
Beautiful. So you have advantage on intelligence. So immediately, yeah. So your
Good.
mind expands all of a sudden. Up to yourself how you want to roll.
Put that
for this.
-1 to work.
You know immediately that you lean against the barrel, you press against the barrel, and where you thought you were kind of holding that barrel, and you realize there's nothing moving around inside this barrel. The barrel itself is empty. There's nothing in it. As soon as you drink this potion, you realize you're holding an empty barrel. There's no soup inside it, but you can smell the soup, and the smell of soup is now filling the entire room. The whole room itself smells like soup.
Okay, out of hunger-driven frustration, I'll rage.
Beautiful. Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So you kind of slip down, and the bag itself is now rotten, and your hands your elbow kind of sinks into the bag, and a bunch of mold comes from the flour inside of the sack and starts to swirl around you and fill your mushroom-shaped head, and you just swell with rage and anger and frustration, and you grow in size, and you rage. Yeah.
You're hungry.
Exactly.
Someone said it. Someone had to say it.
And you stand up, and you're now standing in blood. There's constantly moving, constantly flowing blood in this room. Everything is rotten and wasted. What do you do? Do you do anything else?
That's my turn, really, isn't it?
Okay, sure. Yeah, you can say was it a bonus action? Okay, so yeah, sure. So you swell up in frustration and anger.
And then I
Sure. Yeah. Okay, we can say if you really want, you can make an attack if you would like.
Yeah.
Totally up to yourself.
Yeah, I will then. I'll do a reckless attack.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, sure. No problem. You rolled that really well, so I think you deserve an attack.
I get a -2 to this though as well, don't I? So
You do,
it
yeah,
just
for your
negates
attacks.
the +2, so it's
Oh.
a 19.
19. That hits absolutely.
Oh,
So roll for damage, please.
And that is 10 points of damage.
Yes.
Okay. So you swing up your sword, you slice along its hand that's receding back, and like slide along one of the fingers. Just kind of splits it in half, like all its fingertips just split in half, and just worms start to drop from its fingertips, and it recedes back and wails and screams, just
like live
and
worms?
continues. Yeah. Live worms and maggots drop out of its fingertips onto the floor, and they kind of just sink into the blood. And that's your turn.
All right.
We're back then to Eamon. Bluecorn.
Hello.
Hello. You know where this thing is at all times. You know that this thing's been injured as well. But not a lot.
Oh. That was the most useful thing I've done.
Whatever struck it, it didn't quite do the job. You also felt when you sliced through it, it felt like you weren't really hitting anything, but it still seemed to do something. Hurt it somewhat, but there wasn't as much of an impact as you thought you would have felt. What is Lord A Bluecorn doing?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I regret that I fucked the beast's mother. I'm going to hop off the table and I'm going to scamper through into the room.
Breaking up there a little bit, but
And I would like to take off my thimble hat and
Yes.
and bow to it and say, "Sweet creature, I beg your forgiveness for the way I behaved. It is clear that you just want to be loved."
roll me a persuasion check with disadvantage, as its eyes kind of look towards you. Its whole head extends.
Thankfully, I have proficiency in persuasion.
Perfect.
And +2, so 17 plus proficiency. Whatever.
Okay. So this thing.
You think I know the rules by now?
That's right. So you roll with disadvantage.
Oh, so that's 16. So yeah, 17 plus proficiency.
Perfect. Okay, sure. So this thing completely diverts its attention now from Splurch and just turns towards you, and kind of tilts its head and really softly moves over to you, kind of grabbing all these different parts of the wall, like beams of wood, as it kind of slowly maneuvers its way and crawls down towards you and really lowers its whole body down until it's face to face with you.
Can I speak?
Yeah. It just smiles.
You know, I'm the rightful heir to Brambletop Castle, and that roof needs a lot of work, and I can see a chap like you is pretty good at climbing in roofs. How about you come along with me, and you become my roof man? How does that sound? Yeah?
It looks at you with a blank stare. And for a second in the
Roof
background,
man?
you see, like in the very corner, at the top right of the room, like from where you are, you see what looks like a tiny, a young fox girl.
You cut out there, and I heard "fuck girl."
Oh. So you hear a young fox girl. You see a young fox
yes,
girl in the corner of
course.
the room. And
I
like
thought-
half her body, like half the skin and fur on her body has been pared away and is rolled back in like kind of curls of flesh. And she just looks kind of at the floor like she's completely dead, 100% dead, this thing. And it lands on the side of her. And for a second, your vision returns to normal. And this thing is now looking at you and just kind of laughs. Just...
Are you hungry, dear?
What's on the menu?
It begins to just reach its hand towards you.
Stab it in the head.
Okay.
Man,
So,
good
Well,
decisions.
I
give me
feel
attack
like
roll.
maybe I've used my action, but I do have bite as a bonus action.
We'll say that the calling and the chatting and everything else there was the bonus action. So we can say your action is stabbing in the head. So give me your attack roll.
On guard.
You give me what did you get?
15 plus. Do I have my dex for a rapier?
You have, yeah, you're using your rapier, yeah. So you're adding your dexterity, plus your
And
proficiency.
profici-
So
Yeah.
you're not adding
Oh,
proficiency.
of course,
so,
yeah. So proficiency is
minus
plus 2. So if I have a proficiency, I add +2. I get it.
But
Um,
because you have the disadvantage with feeling really sickly and sorrow and
roll
sad,
again.
you just don't have your proficiency at this time.
Okay.
So
So that's 21.
that hits.
Unnatural.
So roll for damage then.
So roll for damage. The
Give it
coins come out.
D8.
So
Yeah. So Edward, for you guys
Can you
who
hear?
don't know, he has coins instead of dice.
so
Doesn't have-
every tails is a 1, and then I add them together.
Okay.
So that's 1, 2, 3.
and then you're
that's-
adding your dexterity bonus to that.
Oh, well that's 9.
Nice.
Oh, and actually, I can sacrifice a spell slot
Mm-hmm.
to do D8 radiant damage
Oh, okay.
to anything, and if it's
Yeah, yeah.
undead, it's plus 1 more d8. So
Yeah.
is this thing undead?
Go for it.
You have to just do it.
So you're rolling 16 coins there, my friend.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Or you can just roll the 8 coins and then roll them again.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I only have 8 coins.
Okay.
Oh, that's a fine roll. So it was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
All together?
From the coins.
From the coins. Okay.
My plus 6.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what I originally rolled.
That's all right. No, I got it all. So you stab the eye. Initially, there's it's like you're kind of just stabbing the air, but then your needle hums for a moment, and the eye just suddenly explodes, and this big burst of white energy and light emanates from your needle, and the whole side of its head just blows open, and it hisses and wails, and just recedes and hisses and starts scrambling back up the kind of walls, and as it does, it claws out towards you and makes an attack against you. So it got a 22.
Oh, I actually no, that's probably including my shield. So I have a 21. So lucky hit.
It does hit, yeah. So this thing.
I love being a mouse with like chainmail.
Yeah. It's very lovely. It's very wholesome. So it does 8 psychic damage to you as it screeches, it wails, it slaps you across the body. Will you roll me a Constitution saving, please?
I will, of course. 15 with modifiers.
15. Okay, you're fine. You're okay, but you feel like for a moment your head is knocked out of your head. It's a really strange sensation. It's like your brain is knocked out of your head and then snaps back into your body. Splint, you see this as his hand slaps across the mouse, and kind of you see his spirit leave his body and then snap back into the body. How are you on HP?
Just like mating season.
Are you okay? You got you took 8 psychic damage.
Me, yeah, I'm good. I'm alive.
Okay.
If that's what you're asking.
Yeah. Okay, so your head is just throbbing, it's pulsing. Blood is just dripping into your white fur from both nostrils, and you give a little sniff, and this thing starts to move back up into the.
Guys, help! What's 12 minus 8?
4. Minus 8.
Sound.
Yes. Okay, so we're moving on to then Geralt. What does Geralt do? So Geralt, you see the crackling of the fire from the hair looking up at you. Reggie's bow is shaking, like ready to shoot something. What are you doing?
First, I wanted to ask 2 questions. Like,
absolutely.
If I wanted to heal, or at least help with like a character's wounds, like Reggie right now, because I at first I didn't notice it was so bad when I climbed onto his head. Like, is there anything I can do to help when he's injured? Like when I don't have a potion or.
You can roll me a medicine check, and we see what you get there. And depending on what you roll in the medicine check, we can try to do something. Yeah.
Okay, and also.
Reggie is just.
I know you are. I'm not gonna. Now you've been healed. Now it's okay.
Yeah. But, usually, like according to the rules, like you need like either a healer's kit, like a bandages or something. If you can tell me how you're kind of gonna tend to the wound, we can work it out, and then we'll roll and see how successful you are at that, and then work it out after that.
Okay. And also, do we start with any sort of inspiration like we've done before, or?
You can give it to other people.
We don't.
If you had been given any, then you can keep that one that you were given if you haven't used it.
Good. Okay. What was I gonna do? But well, I mean, if Reggie's aiming at something, I would just ask, because at the moment I don't know anything.
You can see Reggie's aiming towards the doorway at the very bottom of the room, and just unblinking. Just where Lord Aemon is, and you've seen actually Lord Aemon get slapped, and you see Lord Aemon's soul. You see the spectral version of Lord Aemon fall out of his body and then snap back into the body. Yeah, you're hearing a lot of scratching and hissing and wailing, and you do see this burst of white light come from that room, and you see this hissing and wailing, and you see these claws clawing away at the door, and scratching and all this stuff coming from the other room.
All right, seeing how serious the situation is, I will try to climb off of Reggie, and I will try to crawl up to the ceiling and go towards in front of the doorway of the kitchen.
Okay.
Or whatever that is, but at the other side of the room.
Okay, so kind of over here, is it?
No, like in
or
front
the
of
other side.
In front of the door? Yeah, exactly.
Right over here.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I have
6.
40
How much
feet of movement, I think.
Okay, cool. So we can get you to here. You can use your bonus action as well if you want to move further.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to attack or do anything from there. So
you can see well from here you would have a disadvantage on your attack because it's you see a little thing like just in the doorway. You can see a few hands. You can try to make an attack here. You can continue to get a better shot before it scampers away.
It's running away, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like crawling back up into
I will
ceiling.
I will not attack it then. It's going to the ceiling. Okay, fuck the ceiling. And I'll try to drop down to the instead of climbing
the ceiling in that room. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. No, I'll stay in the ceiling, but I'll just stay there. I'll sprint so I can be in front of the door, but the other side of the room, and I'll stay there for now.
Okay. You can just about see like a leg hanging down if you want to make an attack against it.
Sure, I'll try. I'll throw a dart at it.
Okay. Give me an attack roll.
That's 10.
10. That misses. And as you throw this dart and it misses, this whole weight as well of the room just presses on you again, and you just can't help this feeling of failure presses down on you again. Just like you missed, you failed, you can't. You try to, but you feel like all these emotions then just kind of drain from your body, and in that moment as well, where you see this dart towards this creature, both Eamon and Splurch, you watch as this kind of creature just continues cackling again. It's no longer screaming, and the side of its head that had blown to pieces starts to refabricate itself again.
Okay.
And the whole side of its head that blew apart from your needle forms again. It's back to how it was. Okay, so Nibble, what are you doing?
I step inside the room.
Okay, so Nibble, you move inside the room.
Okay.
And you step into blood.
Oh, beautiful! That is great indeed. I'm gonna start shaking my paws. Like, you know when cats touch water?
Yeah.
I miss my
Yeah.
cats.
Oh, not your jelly beans.
That's good.
I'm just gonna jump on the table. Thank you very much.
Okay. You hop over on the table.
Yeah, and I'm gonna start shaking all of the paws.
Yeah.
And
Each one. Just flick off the blood on each one.
Exactly. I'm gonna go and check the fuck everyone is doing because I have been for now, kind of starting to become fishy.
Yeah. So you peer around and you do see this long leg flick up from the doorway. You see big, long, kind of skeletal leg almost kind of leave and ascend to the ceiling of the room. And you see Lord Aemon, his nose, blood is dripping from his nose, and you can't quite see Splurch in there, but that's how you see.
Why are they even attacking it? I'm gonna. I'm gonna use a laser pointer.
Of course. Didn't I think of that?
I'm
Yeah,
using a
oh
laser
yeah.
pointer on the. Okay, I can move a little bit closer. So I'm gonna scream to them to get the fuck out of there and just leave it alone, and then I'm pointer.
Let me see. Where is that again? What is laser pointer?
It's easier to attack enemy. It's just like
Ah, yeah.
it's
Okay,
like
so
follow me in Pokemon. It's like
yeah. Okay.
but like on that
Perfect.
on the monster. Like it's easier to
Perfect. So you. Where is that?
like people don't miss. Sparta.
Yes, yeah, they have an advantage on their next attack against. I'm just trying to find it again. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay, so you start to flick a laser pointer, and this thing kind of starts to look around the floor at the laser pointer. The big, like, there's this big glowing dot now. There's little glowing red dot in the blood itself, and whoever makes the attack on it next has an advantage. Okay.
That's because
Only who attacks next. I don't know. I remember it was a little bit more open.
Hold up. Wait, let me see what you're doing. What was the power? I think I'm lost.
Is this guiding bolt?
Maybe
Yeah,
this.
yeah, it is.
You're right. Yeah.
It's- yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's gonna
Okay. So yeah. Okay, I'm with it now. So you move in. You see the leg. Okay. Yeah. No. Thank you. Thank you very much. Whew. So will you make me an attack roll, please?
What do I
magic.
have to roll?
So you're adding your spell attack to this, and you're rolling a 20-sided dice.
Okay. Spell attack. It's 4. It's a 17.
That hits. Okay. Now will you roll me 4 6-sided dice, please?
6.
Yeah.
This is a 6. Yeah.
So.
It's a 3.
Okay.
Another 3. Come on,
Okay.
give me something better. Another 3. Seriously?
Okay.
3. 3's good for 6s though.
It's another. Okay, so I got all 3. I don't
Okay.
even know. Don't ask me. I'm very proud of this.
Okay, so you fire this. You pull out your little laser pointer. Your staff, this little red light shoots out. A little green light, I guess it'd be a green little laser pointer, shines on the leg, and immediately the whole leg bursts into flames, and these flames start to, kind of in the shape of leaves, like lettuce leaves, start to climb up this body, and the whole leg starts to wilt away and burn away, and the whole body itself starts to glow. This red glow, and in that moment, seems less spectral, less let me see. Yeah, so the whole thing seems to, like, you only realize now that the creature itself that you're looking at kind of seemed to be a little transparent, but then it immediately solidifies and becomes completely opaque as the green flames kind of consume it, and the next attack you make against it has advantage. Okay. Thank you, Nibble. So we're on to Splint. What is Splint doing?
Have I seen anything of this creature?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
You've seen the hand. You've seen the hand kind of slap Eamon.
And I see like
And you've also
throwing stuff at it.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you're
guys.
showing stuff
I've got
at
to go
it.
for a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Alright, so people have been attacking it.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I'm going to use my bonus action to tell the, fire spirit to leave Reggie alone. I'm going to tell it to try and get... I'm going to tell it to attack the... It's going to move as close as it can, and it's going to use its action to attack
How many spaces does it have?
30 feet.
Okay, so it's about here.
I don't think you can get that far, can it?
Yeah, it's a 6. 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4, 5. Yeah.
Okay. And I guess I'm going to try. And what have I heard from the room in there? Like
Scratching,
isn't particularly
howling, screaming, everything. You've now seen this big burst of flame, green flame, come
And
from.
I just shouted to Dan to get the fuck out of there.
All right, so I'm meant to be getting the out. I think it's kind of funny that Splurge just takes all this damage and makes no sound whatsoever. Ow, that hurts. Ow, that hurts.
Splurch, I don't know if Splurch would have shouted or anything when raging, but
Well, Splurch would
Oh,
have
yeah.
gone, hoo-wee.
Well, you did
The
say you
calmest
don't feel
of
so
rages.
good and you need to lie down.
Alright, so I'm going to move over to where Nibbles is. I'm going
And
to
you've
try
seen this.
and-
Yeah.
Huh? No, go on.
Yeah, you see this like little leg kind of burning up, and you see another one kind of clawing down. You see these little legs kind of dangling down and scratching,
And I curse.
so you see this thing
Right.
scrambling around, barely just little bits of it. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah,
Alright, then I'm going to, just 1 second, trying to load this.
just about to see it.
I'm going to try and wait. Sorry, just 1 moment. It's not loading. Ah, screw it. Yeah, I'm going to try and I'm just going to use firebolt on it.
Okay. So can you give me an attack roll, please?
Can indeed. That's not very good. That's 12.
Okay, so your fireball, it's scrambling around. You can't quite see where it does, and it also has a -2 to the attack. So
I
scrambling
don't have
around.
that 'cause
Wait,
I
but are
didn't-
you?
Oh no, you don't actually. No, you don't. Oh yeah, you have advantage on this attack because of all the green flames, so you can actually see it quite easily.
Oh,
So
right.
give me
Okay,
a-
cool. So I
an
get to roll
advantage.
again. Oh, nice. 17?
17 hits. Okay, and roll
Nice.
for damage.
Okey-dokey.
Okay.
It was nearly a natural 20,
Oof.
but it wasn't. That's 7 points of fire damage.
Okay. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, I guess Nibbles was saying to run away or to get away, so I'm going to move back up to where I was.
Okay. So we're gonna go spin. So the flames flicker around your wrist again, like gather as a ring, fire off on your arm, and they move towards the green flames that are consuming it, and they burst. And the green flames turn red, and the whole thing sets it on fire. And starts
for
this.
fire.
And you move back up here.
All right, cool.
Okay. Perfect. So, Reggie, what are you doing?
I'm
You
going
haven't
to.
quite seen anything. Actually, give me an attack roll as the hand. Actually, now that I think of it, with the hand, that would have slapped Lord Aemond. You would have just seen the hand for a second. So actually, give me an attack roll first for seeing if you can hit the hand.
Oh yeah. Okay. Great. So
Sorry,
that's 14 plus. Oh, plus. Oh wait. See if I just see the hand.
So you're adding just your dexterity to the roll,
Oh.
not your
yes, that's plus
proficiency.
2, so that's 17.
17. That okay. So that hits. So will you give me the damage for that?
Oh
Hopefully it's
yeah.
your turn.
Of course.
So you would have actually fired off this arrow. As this hand just kind of lands down, slaps Eamon Bluecorn. This arrow goes through it, sinks into the hand, and the hand like flies back up and wriggles away. So how much damage do you do?
So that's a 5 plus 3 is 8.
Okay, perfect. Okay. And the hand
Um,
just slides off over the arrow. The arrow is embedded into the ground, and the hand just kind of tears away from the arrow. So what are you doing? You see this little hand tear away. You see everyone firing stuff into this room. What do you
Does it
do?
look like? Can I know I'm quite far away, so I probably can't tell. But
Hmm.
does it look like what I did any damage? Like like does it look like it's affected it? Or can I
It looks
gauge
like
that?
it's hurt it. There was a wound when it pulled away, but as it pulls away, it kind of phases through the arrow a little bit. It's left a little
Yeah.
hole, where mist is kind of rising up, but it hasn't done the kind of full effect you thought it would have done. It should have probably pinned the hand there, but the hand just kind of phases away from the arrow.
And can I gauge whether the fire is doing anything?
It is on fire, yeah. Now it's on fire, and you
And the
can't
fire
quite see in
seems
the
to be
room, but
affecting it.
yeah, it is, yeah. Fire does seem to be doing
Mm.
something. Fire always works.
Fascinating fire. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think in just a panic, he'd probably just shoot another longbow. Like,
Okay, well, you can't currently see anything from where you are. You would have to get closer.
Oh, Well, I'll probably just shoot for with like to just try and aim for the same position. Like I don't think he's at a point where he feels like he could go any closer.
Okay, so you're
They can
gonna
take
see if
advantage.
something else comes out, you're gonna attack it again.
Yeah, I'll just ready to attack whatever.
Okay, sure, no problem. So you're just the arrow slips back in, and you're just like ready. As soon as this thing comes back out, you're ready to hit it. Is there
Okay.
anything else that Reggie would like to do?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I feel like he's actually getting over it. You know, that boost of energy is starting to help a little bit. He's just coming to the realization that trauma is the new norm. So this is life now.
Beautiful.
So yeah, he's okay.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll move on to Splurch. Splurch, what are you currently doing? This thing is now seeing against everything. It's knocking the cans over, smashing the crockery. It's wailing and screaming. It's on fire, but also kind of laughing and seems to be enjoying the whole thing.
Okay, well, in my hunger-induced rage, I'll give it something else to enjoy. I'll
Okay, perfect.
attack it.
Okay, go for it. Give me an attack roll, please.
I rolled two. I rolled 2 7s. Can I use my inspiration to reroll?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, there we go. I got an 18 plus 1. Like, that's 19.
That's perfect. That hits. Absolutely.
8 points of damage.
8 points of damage?
No,
Okay.
sorry. Actually, that's 9 points.
9 points. Okay, perfect. So... Okay, so you slice along this body. You kind of slice down the front of it, but it doesn't seem to still give you that grip that you want. And it kind of slips down, and there's a line going all the way down the body where this yellow mist is starting to rise from the body. But it is like hitting air. You seem to be doing something, but not as much as you would have liked to be doing. And it just kind of cackles and looks down at you and starts to sniff and scratch the wall, digs its nails further into the wall. Is there anything else that Splurch would like to do? You're hearing Nibbles shout to get out. You're hearing you see Splint is thrown in a fireball and scampered away. It's up to yourself. You don't have to move at all, but
Splurch isn't even with the potion. Splurch isn't really quite tactical or clever, and also is raging. So.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. So you're just in combat. You're just in this bloody frenzy. You're looking at this Nibble that you're calling in, and no one seems to be moving.
Oh, great!
Is that Splurch's turn then? Does
yeah.
Splurch want to position themselves? Are you happy where you are?
Yeah, just wherever.
Okay. Eamon, are you there? Is Edward there?
I am indeed. I
Okay.
just kind of stared into the distance for a while and thought about an alternate reality where I had to pay rent to a landlord.
That's crazy. That would never happen.
It'd be horrible if
mice don't pay rent.
Well, not
Yeah,
mice
you're
like
right.
Lord Bluecorn, anyway.
Oh,
So,
if
what
only you
does,
knew the woes of Lord Bluecorn.
And what is Lord Bluecorn doing? This thing is smashing around, knocking over plates. It's on fire currently, and the fire is starting to dim down and dull down now. And it's mist is starting to rise
I
off.
saw a skinned body in the corner of a roof.
Yeah, it's no longer there. In the corner of the room, itself, just kind of sitting up against the wall, and it's no longer there. And the blood stops. And the beast calms down.
So it's back
and the
to a
fires
normal
on its
room
body
again.
dim and quench. And it looks at the two of you guys. And starts to
I
continue to
still
crawl
know
down
the
again
corner
towards
that the body was in.
Hmm?
I still know the corner that
You
the
cut out
body
there
was
first.
in when I saw it.
Oh shoot, I didn't get any of that. I'm sorry.
Hello?
You cut out completely. Yeah, I can hear you now. You just kind of cut out completely there.
Oh, I dropped out of. Did the live stream go? No, okay. So I still know the corner that the body was in when I saw it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Over there by the plates on the press.
Yeah, I'd like to run over to that corner where and sort of, I'd like to kneel down in front of where the body was when I saw it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I'd like to lay my sword, my needle down in front of me, remove my thimble helm, and say a prayer. A prayer of laying to rest.
Oh, okay. Okay. So and that's an actual spell, is it?
No.
You're just doing. Okay, no, go for it. Yeah, no. No, I'm just curious. So give me a religion check, please.
That's wisdom.
Intelligence again.
Intelligence. 16 in total.
16. Perfect. So you
I can say the prayer if you like.
Yeah. Give me what your prayer would be.
Our sparrow, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy wings. I'm sad you're dead, but that's life. Godspeed to the officer.
What's that on a t-shirt? I'm sorry you're dead, but that's life.
In that moment, hold on, let me just.
Oh, you weren't expecting this, were you?
So in that moment,
God, I'm getting Binding of Isaac for free here.
you see the child that you did see with its skin peeled back and peeled away. You now see a young little fox, and in her hands she's carrying a little doll, a little wooden doll of a cat. She kind of smiles and kind of bows her head, and the creature behind you kind of tilts its head and looks and starts to crawl slowly towards the child, and reaches out its hands, and just as it does to grab the child disappears, and you hear a thank you inside your head. And
So
just left
thank you.
behind, just on the floor, is
Inside your head.
is a doll. You see this tiny wooden doll of a cat on the floor. It's a little smaller than you, or it's about the same size as you actually. And this creature is now looking down at you, and give me an insight check.
Fucking and back way.